Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another episode of Spectating Challenges. Now, this one is also a requested one because I might have been wrong. Oh my god, it can happen. I am human. So I actually wagered that KARTHUS would absolutely suck in current meta for a couple reasons. Namely, because the dragon meta is so big that KARTHUS can't do early dragons, at least by himself. You know, like a Warwick can, even hell Lee Sin can, because dragons are easier to kill nowadays. So it's very easy to solo them. And I'm sure KARTHUS probably could solo one, maybe at like level 5. But while he's soloing one, if anybody just moseys their way by there, KARTHUS is dead at that point. So I want to watch a KARTHUS in Challenger EU West and just see, how does he do? He's against the Graves, who at the moment in current meta seems to be very powerful. If you're wondering, by the way, why would he get rid of that blasting cone? It's basically to give anybody who's invading him less options in their invade. Oh, a Graves doesn't just randomly pop over the wall. Great. So he is soloing blue, doesn't need any help, does KARTHUS, because he can just kite balance, or kite with his Q. He can obviously tank a couple here or there, but an isolated target makes his Q more powerful. And yeah, you can just kite and not take any damage at all. And even taking a couple of auto attacks with the jungle item, you're going to regen it anyway. I presume he's going to go do the Gromp second, because again, another isolated target. So generally, you want to start blue on the blue side when you're playing KARTHUS jungle, because your first two camps can be an isolated target, which does benefit you the most. Obviously, if you are playing on red side, not blue side, you can have your bot lane help you. But this game, obviously, he's on blue side, so he can't have any help. Or, well, top laner isn't generally going to help you on that. And I would actually say, you know, when a jungler is starting here, speaking as someone that's even jungling more now, I don't want my top laner to help me, because I was top lane main in Season 9. I hated leashing for the jungler. It really does hurt you in lane phase, by the way. It really does, more than people think. But yeah, kills all the small ones. Now the isolated damage. Finish off the little, or big chicken, actually. And then moving on to the red. So you can actually see, very fast clear this KARTHUS is having. It's not even 3 minutes at this point, and he's nearly cleared everything. By the 3-minute mark, he's actually going to have killed everything apart from Krugs. That is insanely fast. And remember, that's without a leash. That's crazy. Now, I doubt KARTHUS will contest a Scuttle Crab, but we'll see. Maybe this one will. And again, I do think this is some kind of pro. SO for obviously a Shulker, the pro team. I don't know if this is specifically the jungler, because I don't keep up that much. I presume it is, because it's Challenger and he's got the name. But yeah, so he is going for it. And I guess Graves is probably at the other one? Question mark? And by the way, yes, it is a, for some reason, Cho'Gath Nautilus bot lane. Don't ask me why. The current meta is very weird. It is also a Tristana mid, and as I've said to you guys, I only like Tristana's mids. Well, I don't like them, because one, I don't think it works very well. As you can see, she just died to the Aatrox in a 1v1. One, I don't think it works very well. It's an all-in cheese pick that if you don't get ahead, you're in a lane that is designed to kill you. An Aatrox will kill a Tristana pretty easily in mid to late game. And he's also killing her in the early game. But I only like Tristana mid if you would say, oh, when do you not mind having one? When you've got AP and an actual carry from other places. So a KARTHUS jungle, for example, is a pretty good AP carry that you don't need then an AP mid laner. So yeah, it's okay in this instance. So more farming. Remember that the XP balance in jungle has changed in preseason. So if you're wondering why my jungler is so much way far behind in XP than the enemy jungler, a couple of reasons. Meanwhile, Graves going for a gank in bot lane will help kill the Nautilus, unfortunately. But yeah, for a couple of reasons. So there used to be a comeback mechanic or catch-up mechanic for junglers. Now it used to be. There is no longer. So if one jungler used to get behind in XP to the average, I think, of the game, they used to get bonus XP to help them catch back up. That went away to make jungling technically harder. Meanwhile, KARTHUS very close to getting executed here. I think he's dead. Yeah, does die. Did get the kill. So overall, again, people say that's embarrassing. It is, but it honestly doesn't really matter. Like, getting executed, but he finished all the camps that he wanted to. he doesn't really care about that death. Sure, he'd probably not want it, but he doesn't really care about it. He's maximizing his farm right now. You know, he's out farming a Graves. Yes, the Graves has got 1 assist, but he's done 1 gank. So yeah, he doesn't want to die like that, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah. But yeah, so catch-up mechanics gone. XP has changed. You have to now focus doing Krugs. If you're a jungler, a lot of junglers did last season, ignore this camp right now. You are missing out a lot of XP. Yes, it's an annoying camp to do, but it now gives a lot of XP. So you can't ignore it. So if you are someone that's ignoring this and you're like, why am I getting behind the enemy jungler in every single game? That's probably why. And you got to farm more. So the way that they balanced jungle last season is that they gave you less XP for doing camps and more XP for like getting kills and being involved in that way. Now they've actually balanced it a lot more to farm. So I'd say, and is he going for a solo? He is. Okay, so I actually did say level 5 is when KARTHUS can solo Dragon. Does seem that I'm correct. That is the level when you're looking to do it. And if you actually notice his item build, he's got both halves for the jungle item, which means he could have completed the full jungle blue smite item. He didn't go for it. Why? I think he specifically wanted the cooldown reduction to help do this dragon. Does get a solo Infernal Dragon. That is absolutely fantastic for him and his team. Obviously, that means the map will not be Infernal, but that means him and his team, from killing that dragon, he just secured his own team 5% bonus AD and AP. That is the buff that it gives if you kill a singular Infernal Dragon, and obviously it goes up every 5%. If it is an Infernal map, but that also means, because Infernal Dragon was first, that means it cannot be an Infernal map, it cannot be Infernal Dragon Soul. The next dragon is Ocean, so that means Ocean buff will be the next one that you can get, but that also means it cannot be an Ocean map. So this will be a... Meanwhile, blue is trying to be stolen by the Graves. This will either be a mountain map or it'll be a cloud map. Now, Graves is ahead in XP. The blue buff resets. KARTHUS will not mind that, and he is even warding that bush. Again, I do like this bush, by the way. It adds a little bit more depth to this jungle, but Graves will back out, smartly so, but will go to top lane. Pretty bad by Camille, honestly. You just saw the Graves invading, and he disappeared that side, but I guess she must have been tunneled on the fight. Now, KARTHUS will make his way on over, just to cover the lane. KARTHUS right now, trust me, will have a massive smile on his face. Meanwhile, Tristana dies again. Is now 0-3, by the way. KARTHUS will have a massive smile on his face that he has to cover this and take a bunch of farm, because it's something you normally don't get. So overall, this game is looking pretty bad. They're over 2,000 gold behind. KARTHUS has had 0 impact this game. Remember, he is 0-1, but that is not a 0-1 to the enemy team. No enemy got the kill. It was an execute, and no enemy was in range of getting XP. So it was a nothing death. But still, I know it can be a bit like, wait, he's dead. But yeah, Tristana mid's not working, and generally when Tristana mid doesn't work, it's a little bit rough to get back into the game. Weird play here by Aatrox, potentially going to get himself killed. Tristana's in the area. I don't think Aatrox probably realized Tristana was nearly back. If Tristana goes for the jump with the bomb, KARTHUS' ultimate is up, obviously. It can happen, but really nice roam by Thresh, actually. And there we go. The Thresh has no damage right now, no strength to the champion pick so far. And she will just get killed for free. Enemy team trying to do more to the KARTHUS. Nautilus is in the area, but I think they can't do much because the Nautilus is not level 6 versus the Thresh that is level 6. And KARTHUS will loop around just to try and get to the buff. Again, all the farming, all the XP is what he wants. There is an argument, obviously, for team comp here. Who scales better than who? Both teams have pretty good scaling. KARTHUS going for an ultimate, and it will go, get 1 kill. Is maybe going to help somewhere, so... Cho'Gath probably going to go down. Does help a little bit on Akali. Don't know where Aatrox was. But, you know, Cho'Gath probably going to die here. It does get the slow from his Q. But, oh, really bad flash. Could have survived if he flashed a lot quicker. They will get a kill on the Camille in top lane. So that's another bad thing for KARTHUS' team. But the farming does continue. But the problem is, when you're power farming as a KARTHUS... Graves is also a power farming jungler, so he is right there with Graves is basically 1 camp away from the KARTHUS in being equal, and the Graves is being involved in 3 kills versus the KARTHUS is 1. So definitely there's a bit of a difference in jungle right now, but you know, it's not really been a jungle centric game. Top lane's been dying mainly in the 1v1, mid lane has been dying in the 1v1, and bot lane has been kind of dying in the 2v2 overall. So it's just kind of a, you know, you're playing jungle, you're playing KARTHUS, a non ganking. Oh, look at that! You're playing. Oh, amazing. You're playing Karthus jungle, a non-ganking jungler, and your lanes are struggling, it's a bit of a feels bad. Karthus comes at a pretty good time. If he can get in the middle here, he needs to keep walking forward. Doesn't walk forward, doesn't get the kill on Graves, unfortunately, but will take over the farm. Do think he possibly could have killed the Graves if he just got his E practically on him, or the blue smite. But you can see the Tristana saying, is jungle useless now? I see both are struggling. To me, both aren't struggling at all. It's just the Tristana's playing bad. Both have pretty decent farm. Karthus has more farm right now than the Tristana. Graves has equal farm to the Tristana. So no, they're not struggling at all. It's just maybe this Tristana has a bad playstyle of being over-aggressive, and she's dead again. She's playing a cheese pick that's not working, and she's probably like, oh, my jungle is not helping me, wah. Which obviously Karthus can't really do. And plus, Karthus can't help the Tristana when half the game already the Tristana's been dead. So, yeah. But let's see what scaling can give. Aatrox going for a dive. Weird play going on. Karthus picks up a free shutdown. That was the first death of Aatrox, by the way. Free shutdown. Gives himself a third Dark Harvest stack. And yes, Karthus does still run Dark Harvest. Weirdly, the Karthus doesn't go get the control ward there. But he still runs Dark Harvest. Is one of the champions that is still good on. Because, again, it's just unlimited scaling for a hyper carry late game scaling champion. And what other thing are you going to really run on the champ? There's nothing that's better. But how will this game go? It's really looking rough for blue team. But Camille is half farm. Karthus is doing well. Tristana is doing bad. Cho'Gath and Nautilus not doing great right now. Dragon's been done. A great steal potential coming up here. Karthus doesn't have flash, so he is committing to this and will get himself killed for this play. Is going to try and go for damage before. Doesn't get it. Will maybe get a kill or two, though. Is going to finish off standing on. Will maybe kill both of them if he can land one Q and then ultimate. Okay, doesn't need the ultimate, ulting anyway. That might help in other places. By the way, Tristana does kill the Yasuo, so that does show the Yasuo is having a bit of a rough game. Nautilus now in the area with the CC level, literally was about to get onto. Tristana jumps straight into a Aatrox. I think we now know why that is going really bad for the Tristana. And that will be a dead Nautilus most likely. Oh, maybe not. This is going to be close. Oh, survival. Oh, Lily. Oh, and the healing in the end again. Aatrox at the moment, for those that don't know, is ridiculously strong. Ridiculously strong. With Conqueror synergy, the healing that champion gets is crazy. So, like, I'd actually expect Aatrox nerfs upcoming. But unfortunately, not a great situation for blue team. Dragon is now 1-1. The map has obviously... Aatrox overstays. Tristana does pick up a kill. So again, you do hope that the Tristana does well, even though it's a kind of cheesy pick here or there, and I'm not a massive fan of it. I still want to see it do well. I never want to see people doing bad, unless it's switched jungle. And the Aatrox overstayed, being a little bit cocky, obviously has also bought himself a Death's Dance, by the way, already. Naturally, with the healing that the champion has. But as I was kind of saying before we got interrupted with everything, the benefit of the blue team, I'd say, is Tristana dies again, is scaling's not bad. So you've got a Karthus hyper carry late game. You've got a Tristana, a pretty good AD carry for damage late game. You then have an incredible beef line in front of them. Yes, it's AP Cho'Gath, whatever, but you already can see he's starting to build a bit of tank. He's realizing that the AP build is not working. So he might just start going tank. And then you've got a Karthus that is an Triss that's hiding behind a Nautilus and Cho'Gath. That's a really good front line for those two champions. You've also got a Camille, but this Camille at the moment, to me, I'd be very surprised if she manages to turn this game, because she is legitimately less than half farm of the Akali. She's 1-6 versus a 7-1 Akali. And we all know, by the way, the problems with Akali at high rating. Literally, once again, proven correct that win rate means nothing, because Akali is literally getting nerfed in the upcoming patch. Even though she has a negative win rate, she has to continue. Look at the healing. She continuously has to keep getting nerfed. Because she is a problem for high rating. And by the way, that is a nerf specifically because of high rating. But there, you guys just saw that Aatrox, by the way. Oh boy, that champion is nuts currently. So yeah, absolutely insane. So I would say, if people are wondering, oh, preseason, you want to climb in preseason, do I recommend any specific picks? Yeah, Aatrox is definitely one of them for preseason. Play him if you just want to get some like kind of like cheap LP while it's kind of broken. Tristana dies again. More deaths are happening. And right now I will say I am questioning, do I have the correct replay? This has happened before. So for this to actually make a turn, something big has to happen. KARTHUS coming in. Kali going for a dive, just goes all in because the tower's dying at perfect timing. Kali's still an ultimate, by the way. KARTHUS now just walking his way. Nice save by Nautilus. Really nice. And KARTHUS will survive for now. Is going to just take over a bit of farming in the top. May as well. You know, he is realistically doing the best out of his team. I don't think the Nautilus is doing bad, but let's face it, Nautilus can't carry. You know, let's say that the Nautilus wasn't duo Q. He kind of did get lumped with a Cho'Gath bot lane. Personally, I know I wouldn't have been the happiest camper, you know, if I had a Cho'Gath as my carry in bot lane. I'd have been like, great, fantastic. You know, I can see the CC level being incredibly high, but I also can see that just not really working at all. But as I said, the game is definitely, well, it's not over because of the scaling possibilities that Blue Team has. KARTHUS and Tristana really are their only hope of winning this game. And, you know, the Tristana's had a rough game as well. But, well, so really it's on KARTHUS for now. He has ultimate. There's a big play happening in mid lane. Yasuo goes 1v3. Kali flashes, going for the Trist. Doesn't manage to pick it up. Nautilus will get himself killed, though. So, yeah, this is, again, we just watched the game a couple, you know, half an hour ago before this. That was also a high kill game. Maybe it's just the way of the meta right now that there's a lot of high kills even in Challenger, which is obviously normally an area that has like very low kills. It's just very high aggression. The dragons are forcing plays, forcing, you know, aggression levels. And the meta is a little bit iffy, you know. When was the last time that we saw Cho'Gath bot lane, for example? I no idea. Again, I don't know if that's a one trick or anything. I've got no idea. But you just don't really... I've not seen that before pre-season, basically. So, yeah. Cho'Gath going for the Akali. Misses his combo completely. Misses more. And Dragon will most likely be taken straight away by the Graves. If I had to imagine, he's got pressure. His lanes are pushing in. Here, you know, there's no pressure on him to take, like, against that. So I presume we're about to see that get killed. I think we can hear it being done. Akali may be getting caught. Does W to safety. In the bush does she go. And overall, nothing bad happens. Aatrox continuing bot lane. Dragon is dead, like we mentioned, was going to happen. And the game will continue. So, Camille is split pushing. That is, weirdly, probably the best thing that she can do. Because in grouping, she's just going to get one shot. So, she may as well just be annoying. Take someone that's fed. Like, if she... you know, takes the Yasuo, maybe she can kill Yasuo in the 1v1. If she takes the Aatrox or the Akali, well, then you're baiting someone that's fed away from a team fight. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Cho'Gath being fought in bot lane. Maybe a bit of an overstay by the Aatrox. Does get exhausted by the Cho'Gath. Does get killed by the Tristana E. Nautilus doing a bit of CC. Knock up by the Cho'Gath. Tristana having 3 auto attacks right now completely. Windwall does stop it, though. Graves goes top lane and actually does kill the Camille. So unfortunately for her, she does go down. Graves, though, will not die, but the Thresh did. Nautilus went all in. Tristana's all in and will get herself killed. Cho'Gath, though, might be able to clean. Tristana did get 1 kill. KARTHUS gets another. Little bit of a clean. Tristana is starting to get a bit more strength. And why is she getting more strength? Well, it's becoming not lane phase. Again, and I know I don't want to be repeating myself too much, but when a cheese pick doesn't work in the early game, that doesn't mean it's going to do terribly, by the way, the rest of the game. It just means the intended cheese style of what they wanted to do will work. That doesn't stop a Tristana who is great at late game scaling. The champion still scales really well. It's the same with Twitch. Twitch jungle, for example, cheese pick, it can either work really well in the early game and you get a bunch of like free ganks, etc. Or it doesn't work, you get killed by the enemy jungler, for example. But that doesn't stop Twitch scaling. It's still an AD carry. It still will technically scale, but the problems, the inherent problems that you have, like I've said before, is when you're running a Twitch jungle or you're running a Tristana, usually you're taking up a role then that you're missing in the game if you don't win in the first 20 minutes. If you're running Twitch jungle, well then you're missing an assassin or a bruiser in the jungle. So if they have an assassin that's doing better, like a Kha'Zix, for example, well then the Twitch could just get one shot if he had a bad game. In this game, well, normally you'd be missing an AD carry, or you're missing, a mage if you're running Tristana mid. But this game, it doesn't matter because you're running Karthus. This Triss needs to stop doing these crazy all-ins, though. Holy moly. Camille will make her way in. Yasuo going for a double ultimate. Will go for his damage, but this Yasuo also kind of weak. Karthus getting in with his E, obviously doing permanent damage by the end of the fight. So overall, not terrible. 3 people on the enemy team are dead versus 1, which is Tristana. She just needs to be careful when she goes all in. Cho'Gath on the run of the Akali, but having a relatively even trade. Nautilus not even using ultimate yet. Does get the knockup, which will give him the combo alongside the rest of the team. Karthus will pick up the kill, making himself 8, 2, and 6. So overall, I'd say very impressive by the Karthus. Of having a game that he had all 3 of his lanes losing. He maintained his composure in a game that, you know, it's a bit tilting. Meanwhile, Aatrox, I don't think expected that many people, by the way. Will get himself free killed. I don't think, you know, maintaining your composure when everybody's feeding, especially when you're a jungle. Usually, you know, the jungler is the scapegoat. Oh my god, my jungle didn't help me. Oh, blah, blah, blah. The Karthus just did his own thing. Hey guys, I'm farming and I'll ult and I'll just take over lanes when you die. So here's a big play. Camille's doing a very smart thing right now. She's distracting. Really nice. Really nice by Camille. She goes over the wall and I think even forces the blast plant, and she didn't even die. That was really well played by her. She stops the Graves getting over. She takes the blast plant so the Graves can't boing himself over. Distracts him. Everything. Really well played by the Camille. But obviously Baron as an actual buff is weirdly gone down the pecking order. Obviously, it's still good, obviously. The game, you can see, is starting to turn. Maybe with this Baron, they can get momentum, group, etc. and just continue. But it's not as a big priority as it used to be. You know, right now, if you told me, Huz, there's Baron or there's Dragon, which one are you going for? You know, you know, if you go for one, the enemy team's going to get the other one. Yeah, I'm going for the Dragon, 100%. Tristana gets caught, unfortunately. Karthus will survive. Nautilus flanking, doing a bunch of damage. Remember, Karthus right now is really fed. So when he's on top of somebody with his E, with his Dark Harvest procs, doing a lot of damage, kills the Graves. Fight continuing, by the way. Karthus is like, I'm out of here. Realistically, blue team should try not to die because there is a dragon coming up soon. And that would, I believe, give the red team their 3rd dragon. So it wouldn't give them the dragon soul yet. But those are bad deaths. They shouldn't have died there. But can they reset? Will they stop the enemy going into the base? I do think so. Aatrox ult is about to run out, so that won't continue. And their wave clear with Karthus is not bad at all. Karthus damage obviously very high at this stage. Aatrox coming into the base, very questionable. Does Lantern straight out of there. But if the enemy team's not careful, I reckon this Karthus is going to get a lot of kills. So you can, you know... Oh, here we go. Play might be on in a second. Obviously, we don't want the Tristana doing what she's been doing most of the game. She is already in double-digit deaths at 23 minutes into the game. She does go for the jump, but this time it's okay because he was nearly dead anyway. They will get a nice return kill. Dragon should be the priority for both teams right now. Graves has spawned. He most likely is running straight there. Akali, what she's probably going to try and do is distract. Oh, you guys want to go do Dragon? I'm going to try and pressure the base, make you a bit distracted, but doesn't go for it. Tristana, once again, over-aggressive, but does get the kill. Does also dodge the Graves ultimate. Arguably, that was a bad ultimate to begin with. And now the Dragon priority is over to blue side. Nautilus should stand over here, which he is, just to block the Graves. Akali coming in, going for one-shot potential. Karthus gets it. Nice composure, maintaining his composure. Karthus now going to focus a little bit on both sides. Nothing specifically. Thresh goes for a nice Q. Karthus should just make his way out of there. If he's got ultimate up, which he does, he should just run an ult. I don't know if you'd specifically kill the Thresh. He might, but Thresh Lantern, Thresh W might save him with the shield. So he's going to save it. If he was level 16, maybe then he would most likely ult for the kill. Meanwhile, during all that, the Cho'Gath was top lane, which is a little bit questionable because, you know, oddly, Cho'Gath as a pick is also pretty good in Dragon meta because he's got his ult. It's like Nunu. Nunu's Q, Cho'Gath's ult. I think it's 1,000 true damage. Remember, when you're level 18 as a jungler, that is when your smite goes to 1,000. So a Cho'Gath ultimate is insane. Like, let's actually check what it is. So right now, he is... Yeah, it's 1,000 plus 79 plus 159. So his ultimate right now is doing about 1,200 damage to an objective, a minion or a baron or something. Legit, a jungler cannot do that much damage with smite. So that means if Cho'Gath times his ult at the perfect time to execute, let's say, a Dragon or Baron, there is nothing an enemy jungler can do about it. If they're both there and it's a, you know, they're both just waiting to execute it, Cho'Gath's does more. And there's nothing a jungler can do. And obviously, some people say, yeah, you can time an auto attack or an ability with the smite, sure. But I'm saying for a singular spell to just go, oh, Baron's dead or Dragon's dead, Cho'Gath has 200 more damage than any smite right now, and more than that because the junglers are not level 18 yet. Their smites right now do 900, so yeah, deal 900 damage. So that means right now, Cho'Gath's ultimate does 300 more damage than either of the jungler smites. That's why it's important. Same with Nunu. Nunu's Q does more damage than any smite, I think, at max rank, potentially, at rank 5. So, Akali in bot lane, overstaying maybe a little bit. You can start to see they're working together, blue team, which I think they 100% need to do. Weirdly, even though Camille is a split push champion, I don't think split pushing is the way to win this game. I think a well-timed ultimate to lock somebody down who's important, for example, let's say the Aatrox, CC and kill him, or the Akali, I think that is way more valuable than split push. Now, the problem that you have with that is the Akali might have other plans. The Akali might be, I'm 13 and 5. I am going to split push because I know I can kill the Camille in a 1v1. But remember, it might not always be a 1v1, technically. Even if Camille is by herself against Akali, she does have a massive Karthus ultimate that is currently dealing roughly just over 800 damage. That can make the difference, considering that Akali doesn't have a Zhonya yet. She's got no magic resist. That could make the difference in the actual 1v1 between Camille and Akali in late game. All that we would want is Camille to definitely catch up in XP. She is at least, she's level 14 to Akali's level 15, and I'd wager Akali is probably close to level 16 as well. So, item build by Karthus, by the way, standard jungle item, and then you're just getting the standard Morellos. Hold up, hold the phone, rewind the tape, boom, Camille kills Akali straight up in the 1v1, everybody. Wow. That could be for a couple reasons. One, as we said, Camille is a split push champion, so eventually maybe she does outscale the Akali in a 1v1. She gets tankier. She also has bought, smartly, she's bought the anti-healing item, which counters the Gunblade, which the Akali, oh, she has bought. Karthus ultimate happening at the beginning. Whoa! Crazy damage killing the Graves, that surprised me. Fight continuing. Most likely the, oh god, most likely the fight should actually stop. Camille does come with the teleport, by the way. They will pick up the kill. Aatrox is getting CC'd. Baron most likely is going to get done very quickly. And you can clearly see the game has now completely turned. The enemy team has surrendered. Straight up surrendered. So why have they surrendered? For a couple reasons. I would wager, one, Akali just died in a 1v1 to Camille without Karthus' help. So that's a very bad sign that, oh god, we now even lose the split push fight. Secondly, they just had a bad fight. The enemy team were just about to get Baron, and that, you know, momentum. And you could wager preseason, people get tilted a bit more. And yeah, so like they just kind of like, screw this, game over. So Karthus played this game incredibly well. 10-13, had the highest damage in the game. Before that, we were saying how did Camille beat the 1v1? So like I mentioned, she did buy the anti-healing, which is a big part of Akali. She always buys Gunblade, which gives her a lot of healing. 15% of damage dealt. That's a lot of healing for Akali because she deals a lot of damage. So she won't be doing much healing. Camille is naturally a great 1v1 champion, especially combining with her ultimate if she did use it. And true damage in late game with a magic resist shield. So overall, it was going well for the Camille. You know, eventually, she just had a really rough early game. So eventually she did well. And also, maybe she caught out the Akali here or there. So that was great to see. Reminding everybody, though, the Triss still did finish negative KD. Died 11 times, 8 and 11. Pretty bad performance by the Triss. But, you know, it worked out overall because of how well the Karthus played. Really well. So, if in doubt, all your lanes are losing. All you need to do is play a hyper carry late game champion and farm like crazy. There you go. There's the answer. So, my thing is, like, can you still play Karthus jungle? That might even be the title of this video. The answer is yes. But you have to farm a lot. And what obviously think of this game, by the way, without every single lane losing. The Camille was like 1 and 6 at one point. The Tristana was 0 and 5, and bot lane was losing quite convincingly as well. Imagine if his lanes, the Karthus lanes, went even. It would have been an even. It would be a stomp. Like the Karthus would have had complete domination of the game. So yes, you can still play it. What I would say, though, is Graves is not the most punishing jungler in actual 1v1s in the early to mid game. If this was a Lee Sin, if this was a Kha'Zix, if this was a Rengar, if this was a Xin, to name a few, Vi, they may have had more pressure invading a Karthus and finding him and killing him and forcing stuff more than a Graves would, because Graves is also a power farming jungler. He wants to farm. It's technically an AD carry, and you can clearly see he had 254 farm. Graves had the most farm in the game. So maybe you can play Karthus, especially when you're against something else that power farms, but if you're against something that is aggressive, maybe it's a bit harder. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on the video, throw a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.